This beautiful harbour makes a gruesome appearance in one of the most well-known horror novels in English history. Intrigued? Terrified? You should be. Find out where I am in just a few moments. On today's show, I'll be helping a couple hoping to replace work with walks in North Yorkshire. And as we hit the property trail, one house makes them tremble with anticipation.
I'm shivering down my back, and it's not because it's cold.
And then they sense the drama of the mystery house.
It's like something out of a television series, isn't it?
Yeah. Welcome to North Yorkshire and Whitby Harbour. Now, it was here in the late 19th century that the author Bram Stoker described Dracula's first arrival on English soil, when the ship that transported him from Transylvania ran aground in a storm. Mysteriously, all the crew members on board were found dead, including the captain, tied to the ship's helm. Stoker goes on to describe Dracula leaping ashore in the form of a black dog and racing up these cliffs to the churchyard. He later went on a blood-sucking rampage throughout London. So now I've got your teeth into this spine-chilling tale, I'm happy to say this beautiful county has so much more to offer than vampires and mayhem. North Yorkshire is bordered by Cumbria and Lancashire to the west and Durham to the north. It's by far the UK's largest county, so it's no surprise that it has plenty of attractions to satisfy even the most intrepid of explorers. It proudly boasts two national parks, the Yorkshire Dales and the North Yorkshire Moors. The Dales provide stunning rolling green hillsides, while the moors are wild and windswept, strewn with untamed heather to create a very atmospheric beauty. It's not just the landscape that's dramatic here. North Yorkshire has some of the finest remains of medieval abbeys anywhere in the country. The 11th century monastery Revo Abbey near Helmsley is perhaps the most celebrated. But if you prefer a coastal view, then Whitby Abbey is particularly compelling. Given that this is England's largest county, it comes as no surprise that North Yorkshire's property prices vary greatly. The overall picture is an average detached property here would cost you £265,000. That's £9,000 more than the national figure. And a general rule is the further east you go, the better value you get for your money. However, when it comes to the coast, prices can rise quite significantly, with homes in towns such as Whitby costing up to 10% more. Now, inland, the national parks of the Moors and the Dales are very desirable areas. And a prime property in a historic village such as Ampleforth expect to pay a 5% premium. But wherever you choose to live in this area, one thing is guaranteed. There's a rich mix of different architectural styles to choose from. Many of North Yorkshire's homes are old farmhouses made from the local sandstone. Prices for a 4-bedroom cottage typically start at around the £500,000 mark, although the hefty price tag is likely to include a sizable plot of land. Picture postcard stone cottages in the Georgian style are also highly sought after. 3-bedroom properties away from the coast can cost upwards of £350,000. But if you're seeking a home with a sea view, then head to locations such as Whitby, Robin Hood's Bay and Scarborough. Prices for a 4-bedroom terraced house begin at around £250,000. Well, there are plenty of stunning properties on offer in North Yorkshire, but will any of them suit our buyers? Let's meet them and find out. Rod and Lynn have lived in Letchworth, Hertfordshire for the last 35 years. Retired GP Rod has already hung up his stethoscope, and with Lynn about to give up her job as a nurse, they feel that now is the perfect moment to escape to the country.
We think now's the right time to move for us. I'm coming up to retirement, and we hope in the next phase of our life we can indulge some of our interests.
And they're hoping those interests, including Rod's basketball, can be played out in the north of England.
We've settled on North Yorkshire because we have family there and it's very near to the coast. It has good access to the Lake District, the Yorkshire Dales.
This move certainly isn't a chance to put up their feet, as our buyers have plenty of plans for a very dynamic lifestyle.
I hope that our new house with a much larger garden will make life more active. We'll be able to do much more walking, much more cycling, and generally visit places far more frequently because we'll be free of work completely.
Rod and Lynn have already sold their house and are living in rented accommodation, so they're keen to get cracking on the next chapter of their lives and make the most of their healthy finances.
Our budget for the move is £500,000.
Rod and Lynn want us to concentrate our search to the very north of the county. They want to be close to family in Middlesbrough and not too far from the coast. Surrounded by breathtaking moorland, I met up with them to discover more about their ideal property. Wow, Rod and Lynn, lovely to meet you and welcome to North Yorkshire.
Thank you very much.
So remind us what you're looking for in this perfect home.
Probably 3 to 4 bedrooms, a character house, I think, with a substantial garden. And I think Lynn and I would both like a big kitchen.
And obviously amazing views and ideally not too far from the coast.
That would be perfect.
That would be perfect, wouldn't it? And what about a budget? How much have we got to play with?
I think £500,000.
Right.
That really would have to include the cost of any building work or extensions.
I think time is of the essence, isn't it?
Perfect.
We need to get you out of that rented accommodation into your final home together, your dream property.
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Come on.
Let's get going.
Rod and Lynn have £500,000 to spend and a clear idea of the house they want to buy. They'd like a minimum of 3 bedrooms, a large kitchen with enough space for a table, a big garden for Lynn to grow vegetables, a garage, and it needs to be on the edge of a village. We found 3 superb houses to show them. However, I won't be revealing the price until they've had a guess first. The final choice is, as ever, the mystery house, a property they might not have considered on paper, but with the potential to be a real cliffhanger. Our first offering is located close to Scalby village. Situated on the edge of their search area, but with the North Yorkshire Moors National Park and coast right on their doorstep, it could just be what they're after. Before I take them to the house, I'm showing them the area. So this is the village of Scalby. We're about 10 minutes out of Scarborough. So do either of you know this area?
No.
Completely new to us.
Yes, haven't done any house hunting around
Definitely
here?
not.
None at all.
That's very good. Well, this village has got a couple of shops. It's got 2 pubs, hairdressers, a couple of churches. And the first house we're going to show you is literally just a mile up the road. Our first house is a stunning 17th century barn that was converted 20 years ago. So here is your very first property in North Yorkshire.
Beautiful barn, isn't it?
It has been extended and it's the Yorkshire sandstone. You've got the pan tiles and we've got a little outbuilding there as well. Location-wise, we're about a mile from the village.
Yes, it's a spectacular setting.
Spectacular.
Rod and Lynn seem very impressed with this beautiful barn conversion. Let's hope we can keep the mood flowing as we head inside. So let's start off with the first sitting room.
Beautiful.
Lots of beams.
Lovely warm fire.
And you've got your fire. Now, at the moment, it's not a log-burning fire, but the flue is open. So if
Yes.
you wanted to put a wood burner in there, a multi-fuel burner, very easy to do.
Beautifully light with the windows on both sides.
Yeah.
Isn't
So it's a good size room.
It
it?
is.
Beautiful size
Yeah?
room.
Feels very cosy.
Let's continue. This house, with its exposed beams and open fireplace, has certainly brought a warm glow to their faces. Time to turn up the heat in the kitchen. So, good-sized kitchen.
It's beautiful, isn't it? Beautiful kitchen. Lovely range of cupboards.
Lovely floor. Tiles, which always been high on the list of things that we want.
Indeed.
Practical for a kitchen in the country.
Very practical.
You would ideally like a table in the kitchen. So there is that little area there, which I think has been beautifully done.
Perfectly sized.
So you've got all of this space downstairs, and if you turn round, there is the additional sitting room.
Oh, this is another beautiful room.
The wood panelling around the walls is very unusual.
And it's great how it flows into the kitchen. So if you
It
did
does.
have guests, and I know you like your entertaining and you want to bring plenty of friends and family here, I think it works really well. It's also big enough to have a more formal dining table at the back. So this property has 2 staircases leading upstairs. So this leads us up to the master bedroom.
Lovely.
Also on this floor is a utility room, cloakroom and a light conservatory. But let's see where they might be sleeping. So not only is the master bedroom here, but it also has its very own sitting room. Sitting room number 3.
This is so unexpected.
Very bright.
Isn't it great?
It's beautiful. What a lovely room.
You'd sit here all day, I think.
I think so. I'm amazed. I really didn't expect
It's a
to find
bonus,
this.
isn't it?
It is.
Absolutely. I really didn't expect to find this.
And then it does lead straight into the master bedroom with an ensuite as well. And again, this is the modern part of the house. This was the extension.
Yes.
So you do have your own bathroom. The 3 other bedrooms on this floor are all double rooms, one with its own ensuite. There's also a contemporary family bathroom just along the landing. Outside, Lynn specifically asked for a large garden. This house comes with 3/4 of an acre of land to enjoy the views and a lovely secluded courtyard, even in the rain. Well, it had stopped raining until I bring you to see the grounds and the garden.
Lovely place for barbecues and eating out.
We'd need to sit on lawnmower, I think, for the,
Yeah.
the front garden.
But enough of a garden to play with?
Yes, I'm sure
easy.
so.
Easily, you know.
Easily. Yeah.
No garage, but you do have a large outbuilding for storage, made of the same stone. So you've now got to decide how much you think this house is currently on the market for.
I think probably about 465,000.
OK.
I was going to go slightly higher. I thought 475.
Actually, on the market for £450,000.
All right.
So with that in mind, your brain's really whirring now, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Good. Well, do you want to go and have another look around?
Lovely. Yes,
Yes,
please.
please.
Have a wander, get out of the rain, and I'll catch up with you when you're ready.
Lovely.
Okay.
Thanks
See you in a
very
minute.
much. Thank you.
On the market for £450,000, house number 1 is well within budget. They would even have some cash left over to build a garage for Rod. All in all, it has a spacious kitchen, a wonderful sitting room with open fire and beam ceilings, 4 double bedrooms including a master with its own sitting room, and 3/4 of an acre of land.
I think my favourite thing about this house is this room leading onto the kitchen. It's got a very homely, warm feel to it.
I was particularly impressed and liked the ground floor arrangements with the wooden floors and the tiles throughout. Upstairs, the master bedroom and the sitting room alongside that were really, really good.
I am sorry about the weather, but it will stop raining soon, I promise.
I'm sure it will.
It will. But good start.
A very good start. yes.
Lovely. A lovely sized house, lovely accommodation inside. The bedrooms were beautiful.
Good. Excellent. Right, off we go. Come on. Set below the cliffs of the North Yorkshire coastline, the fishing port of Whitby looks out over the wild waters of the North Sea and provides a constant reminder of the town's rich maritime heritage. One of history's most noted explorers and navigators, Captain James Cook, got his first taste of life on the ocean waves here. His first seaman's apprenticeship was in Whitby, and he lodged in the town whenever he was ashore. Our buyer Rod has a keen interest in Cook's voyages, while wife Lynn also loves history. So earlier in the week, we sent them to the Captain Cook Memorial Museum to meet its administrator, Peter Rowe.
This is the house where Captain Cook lodged as an apprentice seaman. We're going to take you inside and show you a couple of our more interesting exhibits. So if you'd like to follow me, we'll start straight away. Thank you. Thank you.
James Cook first lodged here in 1746 as the apprentice to Captain John Walker, whom he served for 9 years. His favourite ship was the Resolution, which he used to explore the Pacific on his second and third voyages.
So this is a 148th model of the Resolution, which is the boat that Cook took with him on the second and third voyages. It's a fantastic model. It took about 4,000 man-hours to make. All the models here you can see of the ship's provisions and the ship's company were all on board that boat. This was the first ship to cross into both the Arctic and the Antarctic circles. Cook was the first person to travel as far south.
All the vessels that Cook sailed on during his adventures were collier ships built in Whitby, like this replica of the HMS Endeavour. Incredibly practical in design, they were broad-beamed and had a shallow draft, meaning the keel was not far below the waterline, so they were unlikely to run aground.
Hello, welcome aboard.
HMS Endeavour was the first ship Cook captained on his scientific voyage of discovery between 1768 and 1771. This model is only 40% of the ship's original size, but just like the real HMS Endeavour, it's been traditionally built by local craftsmen.
This is a lot of responsibility.
It's made of steamed larch planks fastened to a solid oak frame, which is completed with masts and rigging.
Well done.
You're doing fine. Have you done this before?
No.
You're doing very well.
Thank you.
Well, Rod and Lynn seem to be getting their sea legs at last, but it's time we got back to our own Endeavour and explored some more properties. Our second house is in Gisborough, just 22 miles from Whitby, which is one of Rod and Lynn's favourite seaside locations. This is a historic market town dating back to the 13th century and is listed in the Domesday Book of 1086. Some theories, however, date the town back to the Roman occupation of Britain, when it's believed it was a military fortification. Property too was built in the 17th century and has truly magnificent views of the surrounding meadows and woodland. So for your second property, we brought you to the very north of North Yorkshire, and here it is.
Beautiful.
It is. It's a beautiful house.
I mean, it looks, I must admit, standing here, absolutely enormous, and being on this elevated position, it gets the most spectacular views of the Cleveland Hills and all around.
It's beautiful.
Well, believe it or not, this property was built in 1671. It's not listed, it was a gamekeeper's cottage, but looking at it, even from here, it's difficult to believe it's actually this old, isn't it?
Yes,
It is,
absolutely.
yes.
Well, shall we start the tour?
Yes, please.
Great first reactions. It seems this former gamekeeper's cottage has caught Rod and Lynn's imagination. So, a good hallway, but it leads into, well, I would say, a double drawing room in a way.
I love the windows.
Practically brand new sash windows there, which I'm sure you're aware would save you a fortune if you had to replace them.
Yes.
That's a good sign.
Spectacular. I like it. I like it a lot.
It's a very welcoming house. Beautiful.
The whole room is
Yeah?
lovely.
It's a very
Really.
calm, warm room, isn't it?
Well, I'm delighted you love the very first room that we're showing you. Let's hope it continues.
Yes.
The very important room, I feel. The kitchen. Well, it's a
kitchen.
kitchen diner.
This is lovely.
It is.
Really lovely.
And there is your wood burner.
This is a magnificent room.
It is.
And you've got so much storage space. And on top of all that storage space, next door there's a cloakroom with a downstairs shower. And through that is actually a utility room as well.
Oh.
It's been finished to such a high standard.
And then someone else has spotted something else, haven't you?
The conservatory.
Should we take a look?
Yes,
Yes, please.
please.
So your sunroom.
Ideal. Every part of this house is almost for the views, isn't it?
Yeah. And you can get a view of a little bit of your garden there, which we will explore a little bit later on, but it gives you an idea.
Could spend many a happy hour sitting here.
I'm getting sighs of contentment, aren't I?
Absolutely. And you can see the quality of the workmanship in this house. It's lovely. It's almost like a feeling of homecoming, isn't it?
It is.
Great.
I just want to sit and look at it.
Oh. Well, I will give you time to explore on your own a little bit later, because next I want to take you upstairs.
Right.
Lovely.
Let's check
Thank
out
you.
the bedrooms.
Lovely.
Our buyers are getting genuinely excited about this property. It appears they're already picturing themselves living here. On the first floor, there are 2 double bedrooms, 1 single and a family bathroom. This is the master. This doesn't have the ensuite that you were hoping for. However, what it does have is a corridor leading through to an enormous amount of cupboards.
I like it.
Should we head downstairs?
Yes,
Right.
perfect.
This beautiful sandstone cottage is in a lovely location and has an elevated position offering magnificent views from every part of the house. There's plenty of space for Lynn to grow her vegetables, and there's also an added bonus for Rod. So the good news is with this house, you do have a garage, as well as, well, it looks like an extended barn.
This is great.
It's just lovely.
It is. 2 cars with ease and lots of gardening equipment.
Time to inspect where Lynn could be cultivating her cucumbers. So last but not least, the garden. Now in total, it's 1.3 acres.
Amazing. It really is.
Idyllic home in an
It is.
idyllic place. I'm just absolutely in love with it, I think. It's beautiful.
Oh, it's crunch time. What's the current asking price?
I think it's well over our budget. I think it's 550,000.
I think it's probably 560,000.
If I said it was under your budget,
Really?
I'd be amazed.
I would be shocked and stunned.
£475,000 is the asking price for this beautiful house.
That's very good. That's very,
better
very,
than
very
good.
good. Yes. I'm shivering down my back, and it's not because it's cold.
I'm shocked.
Shocked and stunned.
Oh, that's
no,
good.
It is.
Who wants to go and have another look around?
Me, please.
Me, please, as
Go on.
well. Yes.
Go, please do.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Enjoy.
Thank you.
See you in a while.
Right.
How amazing was that? I'm so excited. Well, I can squeal, but they were very contained, weren't they? But I could see in their faces, they're absolutely delighted. On the market at £475,000, this 17th century cottage is well under their budget and is a welcome surprise for Rod and Lynn. It has a beautiful sitting room and dining room, a large kitchen with its own fireplace and wood burner, a conservatory, 3 double bedrooms, including a master with its own dressing room, 1.3 acres of land and a large garage.
Everything about this house is so beautifully maintained. I felt very comfortable in there, and every room afterwards made me smile. It just feels absolutely right for us.
The outside was beautiful. Lovely windows, lovely stonework. And then we came into the kitchen, which is absolutely magnificent. I think it would suit us down to the ground.
All right, you two,
Yes.
have you seen enough?
Yes, thank you.
Yes?
We have, yes, thank you.
Good. I don't want to tear you away, but I'm afraid I'm going to have to now. Come on, that's it for today. As the sun sets over the North Yorkshire moors, our buyers take time to sit back and savour their first day of house hunting. Retired Dr. Rod and his wife Lynn, who's a nurse, are searching for a new lease of life in North Yorkshire. So far, there has been a warm welcome to Property 1 with its fabulous master bedroom and attached sitting room. But they instantly fell in love with our second property, the 17th century gamekeeper's cottage, perhaps due to its fantastic views. However, will the mystery house tip them over a watery edge?
Fancy being Lord and Lady of the Manor?
Yeah, I'd probably have to be a worker, I think, rather than the Lord, yeah.
And I put a bit of a shine on a jewel of North Yorkshire.
You can see the black coming through straight away.
Our mission in North Yorkshire is to find Rod and Lynn their forever home. Today it's time to show them our third and final property. So let's see if the mystery house can work its magic. So yesterday was a pretty exciting day, wasn't it? Did you sleep last night, or were you thinking of that second property?
I think I spent a lot of time thinking about the second property, but
I slept better, but still thought a lot about the second property.
So our mystery house has got quite a lot of work to do, hasn't it? Let's be honest now, to beat that. So what are you dreading that we might be taking you to see? Anything thinking, I hope it's not
I hope it's not semi-detached.
We'll wait and see. OK, well, we're nearly there, so we won't have to wait for too long. For our mystery property, we've travelled near to Runswick Bay, a picturesque seaside location 30 miles south of Middlesbrough where they have family. With its sweeping sheltered cove and charming red roof cottages, Runswick Bay is one of the Yorkshire coast's prettiest destinations. Among the unique attractions is this ancient thatched coastguard's cottage. The Mystery House is a Grade 2 listed home in the most stunning setting. They've said they want to be near the coast. Well, how about living on it? So here we have our third and final property, the Mystery House.
look at this.
It's on a cliff, nearly.
Yeah, spectacular views. I mean, just look at that behind us. Quite amazing.
It's stunning to look at, isn't it?
It is. It's like something out of a novel or a
Yes.
television series, isn't it?
Yeah. You might notice there's a building to the side which is attached. That's a separate house.
Oh, I see. So it's just this.
It's the three.
Just as you see in front of you, yeah.
It is beautiful.
Made from local stone. And it does have, you know, the most amazing views. Can't forget those on your doorstep, can you?
You couldn't, no.
So, shall we start? Shall we step inside?
Yes, please.
And then follow me.
Thank you.
Rod and Lynn clearly love the idea of waking every morning to these spectacular views, but they're not giving much away about what they think of the house. So this mystery house has a very impressive hallway. You've got the original door dating back to 1750. And I wanted to start off with the first drawing room.
It's really impressive. I'm speechless.
Beautiful bay window.
It's lovely to see that they've kept the original features.
And the views will be spectacular in summer and winter.
I would drink a chair and a good book in that window.
Good, well, that's a jolly good start. Right, let's go next door. Well, they seem truly enchanted with this home, and I think there's much more pleasure to come. So across the hall, you've got another very large reception room. This time they're using it as their dining room.
This is
Another lovely, lovely room.
with a door in the bay.
Yes, access to your front garden.
The views from here are... It's just built, isn't it, to enjoy those views?
Yeah, beautiful.
I like it. It's quite breathtaking. Still looks like something out of a television series inside, doesn't it?
You don't fancy being Lord and Lady of the Manor?
Lynn might be the lady. I'd probably have to be a worker, I think, rather than the Lord, yeah. I'd be her servant.
Well, if you're going to be the servant, then perhaps I should show you where the kitchen is, because that's where all the hard work starts.
Yes, please.
Lovely. Rod can hold off getting his hands dirty just yet, as we survey our next treat. So here is your kitchen, complete with range.
Beautiful. Lovely colour.
And these are the original cupboards, believe it or not. Yes.
Is it panelling or cupboards?
All panelling. You've got some cupboards either side.
Another beautiful bright room. That window's lovely. Overlooking the garden.
Also on this floor is a huge utility area and cloakroom, but we're heading upstairs, bypassing this beautiful bay window. There are 4 bedrooms in total up here, including 2 double guest rooms and a single. There's also a fantastic wooden floored bathroom with a roll-top bath. Now for the room that could be theirs. Here's just one of the 4 bedrooms that we have.
Wonderful views from
Yes,
this room.
amazing views.
And it's a good size
Yes, all three of the doubles actually are really good size. And again, they've all got the huge windows.
As we move outside, we'll get a sense of the surrounding land that amounts to about 13 acres. At the front of the property, there's a walled garden joining onto a sizable lawn, which extends right round to the back of the house. Here there are a number of outbuildings, including a stable block and a large barn.
A lot of these buildings have actually had planning permission granted to make them into holiday lets, to convert them. That has expired, that permission. So if you were interested potentially of running this as a side business, you would need to apply for permission again, but there are all the plans, they've already been drawn up, how they'd all be converted.
That would be a big decision. It's really retiring, aren't we?
Yeah. Well, it's something to think about.
Rod and Lynn seem a little unnerved by the size and scale of this property, especially with the outbuildings. However, the owners are willing to consider selling their house without them if necessary. So if our buyers just want the house and gardens, then this could be the place for them.
This is the toughest bit. But how much is it all worth?
Definitely blowing the budget on this one.
Who wants to go first? It's the final time.
You go.
Well, I would say 610,000.
OK.
I was going to go just under 600, so 595.
Total price for absolutely everything we've shown you, £545,000.
Really?
545.
Yeah. That's everything. So it's a double guess the price. How much for the house on its own with the front and the rear garden up to the stable block?
475.
465.
375.
375.
Just wanted to buy the house on its own with the gardens, £375,000. Because then you could negotiate if you wanted the stable block, about £125,000, including the land around it. Or if you wanted just to buy the fields, she's happy to sell that off separately as well.
Well,
Gosh, food for thought.
it certainly is.
I feel a cup of tea and a think coming on.
Have a wander. Do have a think, because there are so many options with this splendid property.
Absolutely.
And I'll catch up with you when you're ready.
Right.
Off you go.
Thank you very
Thank you.
much.
Well, I thought yesterday it was all done and dusted, but the Mystery House has now really confused them. There are just so many fantastic options with this home.
Altogether, this property with outbuildings and fields is on the market for £545,000. However, if Rod and Lynn just want the house and gardens, then the price would fall to just £375,000, well under their budget. It has a beautiful sitting room with bay windows looking out to the sea, a huge kitchen, 4 bedrooms, almost 13 acres of land, and a large range of farm buildings that could be converted into holiday lets.
The mystery property, hasn't it thrown a spanner in the works? The thing I like about it so much are the windows, the exceptional views, the proportions of the rooms. I think what I least like about it are all the choices.
The mystery property really is like a Georgian grand house. It's the sort of house that I couldn't believe that we would be thinking of buying. So I think the outbuildings and turning those into something that we would use would probably be a step too far.
Oh, you look like the owners already. Have you seen enough?
Yes, thank you.
I think we have, yes.
Have I confused you now?
You have.
Good.
Very
I
confused.
think you need some time, don't you, to think about all 3 properties, and then we'll have a chat.
Right.
Come on then.
Thank you.
The historic fishing town of Whitby is well known for its jet, a hard black mineral found in its cliffs. Jet is created from the fossilised remains of the monkey puzzle tree from the Jurassic period and can only be uncovered along a 7.5-mile stretch of this North Yorkshire coastline. Jet was undoubtedly one of the earliest gemstones used to create artefacts and jewellery, and became particularly fashionable during the Victorian era. Earlier in the week, I met up with Hal Redford-Jones, a local jeweller and expert on this rare gem.
Hal, you have a jewellery business here in Whitby working exclusively with jet, but what exactly is jet itself? Is it a stone?
It's classified as a gemstone, yes, but it's actually a fossil of the Araucaria araucana, commonly known as the monkey puzzle tree.
And what happens to it? How does it go from a monkey puzzle tree to this very hard, sort of semi-precious stone that we know?
180 million years ago, the tree was washed off the land into a warm and shallow sea and became embedded in thick sedimentary layer, and that stopped the oxygen getting to it and it didn't decompose. So we got this fossil, and you can see here on this piece the rings of the tree.
It's so shiny already.
Yeah.
So can you find jet anywhere else in the UK, or is it just in this sort of Whitby area?
Well, you can't find it in the UK, no, it's geographically and geologically exclusive to that 7.5 miles. But you can find poor quality jet elsewhere in the world.
In the early 19th century, jet was worn by women in mourning, most notably by Queen Victoria. At that time, Whitby was doing a roaring trade in such jewellery, and one of the last remaining workshops from this period still survives today.
My goodness.
This is it. This is what I wanted to show you. An 1867 original workshop.
It's amazing.
This is exactly how it would have been. Craftsmen would have stood in front of these, treadling the wheels, and these wheels would rotate. The craftsman would then hold the jet up against this.
When jet became fashionable, the economy of Whitby must have exploded then, as this is the only place to get it.
It was a meteoric rise, and there would have been 200 of these workshops. What an economic force it was for the town.
And looking at the equipment all around that the carvers use, I mean, has it changed much today?
The major difference is power. I have electricity, which miniaturises the whole process, whereas these chaps would have had to treadle the wheels, and the jet pieces went round the workshop, giving it to the next craftsman who would have done a different aspect of the craft.
So it literally, there'd have been a different carver at each station, would there?
Yeah. Now what I do is I have to do each one of these stages myself.
Fancy having an apprentice for the day?
Yes, 7-year apprenticeship. We can condense that into a couple of minutes.
Let's see how I get on.
Yeah.
So here's your workshop.
Yeah, this is the master carver's bench.
Yeah.
If you can take a seat here.
Thank you. It's a little bit smaller than next door, isn't it?
Yes. Just hold that in your right hand. You are right-handed.
Yep.
This is a Forndam professional carving equipment. Yesterday, I started to carve this large contemporary ring. This has got a finely ground diamond compound in it. So what you're going to do is to start the first process of the polish. Taking that in your left hand.
Yep.
And then using this tiny little brush here, brushing all of that paste into the detailed sections of that.
Oh,
You're just moving it into the details of the cuts there.
You can see the black coming through straight away.
Now there'll be 2 or 3 more stages of polish before it reaches that really beautiful shine.
I'm really absorbed doing this. A final bit of buffing. So, Master Jeweller, how's my handiwork?
It's very good, yes. Fit to grace somebody's long, slender finger.
And even better news is it'll be around for centuries and centuries,
yes,
hopefully.
It will, yes, absolutely. The antique of the future.
Hal, thank you very much indeed.
You're more than welcome.
So don't forget, if you come here on holiday to keep your eyes peeled, you may find your own piece of Whitby jet on the beach. So that's it. Our house search here in North Yorkshire is over, and it's certainly been an exciting one. I can't wait to hear what Rod and Lynn have got to say. So here we are on a beautiful day with most amazing views behind us. But is this where you both want to settle? You haven't changed your minds after our
Definitely not.
search?
Who could not want to live here?
No, it's absolutely beautiful, isn't it? But the big question is, have we got close to finding you your perfect property. Should we start off with the very first property that we saw? In a little village outside of Scarborough, actually, Scalby. You tell me what you thought.
It was a beautiful house in a beautiful place. I just felt really it was too far away from our original destination. We really wanted to be within striking distance of the family, didn't we?
Because the family are all situated sort of around the Middlesbrough area, aren't they?
Yes, yes, really, the very north of North Yorkshire.
That was the first property we showed you. Then we moved on to Gisborough, which was much closer to where your family actually live.
Yes.
And, well, the second house, it did get quite a reaction, didn't it?
Yes, it did. The second house looked good from the outside, and the workmanship and the care that had gone into putting windows, floors and everything in was just really, really, really good. You wouldn't have to do anything inside the house, I don't think.
No, that's very true. And what about you, Lynn? What did you think?
I loved it yesterday, and I think I do still love it today. The feeling of walking into that house was just like a feeling of coming home.
There was scope to extend into the garage area, and that's the sort of work that we would like to do.
Just want to ask, because you both said straight away, what an amazing house, it's got the right feel for us. And did that continue throughout?
Absolutely, I think it did.
Yes, it did. It was difficult to believe that it was a house with only 2 rooms,
Two reception
essentially,
rooms.
Downstairs, because it felt much bigger than
Yes,
that.
it did feel big. Quite deceiving in that respect. So the last property we showed you, leaving on a high from that, was something very, very different, a mystery house. So much potential if you choose to take it on.
When we first looked at the house, you could see it's very grand, very beautiful, big house. But when we went in through the front door, it needs lots of time and attention inside. And because it was the third house and because it was the mystery house, I was thinking the whole time, this is going to blow our budget. Will we have enough money to be able to do what we would want to do to it, to make it a house that we would be comfortable in, to live in?
There was quite a lot of work that we would want to do inside, and not very much work to do in the garden outside. So although the house itself looked grand, and I think really was top of the list for appearances from the outside, there wasn't much work to do in the immediate garden.
Well, I suppose I have to ask you then, what is going to be the next move?
I think we'd like to probably go back and have a look at the second house.
Do you think potentially that could be the house for you?
I think potentially
I think
it could.
Yes.
Well, best of luck when you go and look at the second property again. I hope all your questions get answered. Listen, thank you both very much. Let us know how you get on, won't you? And certainly if you put an offer in, I want to be the first to know.
Of course.
Right.
And thank you very much for showing us what we know is a beautiful county.
One thing's for sure, both Rod and Lynn now know exactly where in this county they want to live, and that their budget will get them what they're looking for. Or, as the mystery house demonstrated, potentially a lot more. Until next time, bye-bye.
Well, Rod and Lynn did go back to see house number 2 near Gisborough, but even though they loved it, they had second thoughts about the location. If you'd like to escape to the country in Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland or England and need our help, please apply online at bbc.co.uk/be on a show.